Behind me I have two lights, the EOS 2 Pro and the Neo 3 Pro from ROTOLIGHT, and they are quite possibly the most versatile lights I think I have ever used. So both of these lights are RGBWW lights, and they boast very impressive photometrics as they share the same LED technology as found in ROTOLIGHT's more higher end lights, which are the Titan lights. Now in the beginning of this video I mentioned that these are some of the most versatile lights I've ever used, and that's a pretty bold claim. I've used a number of different lights over the years throughout my career, so what makes these so special? Well, for me, I think these are like the hybrid shooter's dream lights because they are perfect for filmmaking and photography. So for filmmaking, for example, the EOS 2 Pro is a great light for a key light for an interview or something like that. One word of caution though, I would still want to put some extra diffusion over it because as you can see from this example, without any diffusion, you can get some pretty harsh shadows, but if I throw like a 4x diffusion in front of it with like a half grid cloth, you can see that those shadows become much softer and the roll-up becomes much more gradual, thus looking a little bit more pleasing on skin tones. Now I mentioned hybrid shooters. Using these lights, you can also use them for photography. So you can obviously use them with continuous light, but if you use like an external trigger, flash trigger, like this one I got is a Godox one, it's like 60 bucks off Amazon, and there's a number of different compatible brands with these lights. You can use these to trigger them as a flash, which is really cool, and I think you get like an extra stop of light or thereabouts, so you can kind of crank your shutter up and kind of stop that action and have really nice, crisp and clean photos. Now real quick, before we move on, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, which is Motion Ray. Now if you like the text and titles and stuff that you're seeing throughout this video, well, I got all of that from Motion Ray. So if you're not a motion graphics person like me and you don't want to use just the built-in effects, titles and stuff that are in your NLE, whether you're in Final Cut or DaVinci or Premiere, whatever the case may be, then you should definitely head over to Motion Ray because they've got thousands of titles and templates and overlays and backgrounds and even LUTs and all this kind of stuff to really make your video stand out. And the cool thing is it's just kind of plug and play, and it's just really easy to incorporate into your workflow. So no matter if you're on DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro, After Effects, or Final Cut Pro, Motion Array has you covered. Now Motion Array is a subscription-based model, so you pay monthly or you can pay annually. And the cool thing is when you're doing that, you're always getting updates and they're adding new stuff every single day, and you have unlimited downloads. You can download as many assets as you want while you're subscribed, and your license covers you for all your work no matter what, anywhere in the world. Super awesome, super convenient. I love the licensing terms. So if you are interested in Motion Array, be sure to check out the description down below. Thank you, Motion Array, for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back into this content and talk about why I think these are the most versatile lights I've ever used. We've talked about photography, we've talked about filmmaking, and next up is RGBWW. Now what exactly does RGBWW even mean? Well, it simply just represents the color of LED chipsets that are built into these lights. So you have red, green, blue, so RGB, and then you have two white LED chips. You have a cool white and a warm white. Those cool white and warm white LED chips really help with a really broad CCT range, so you can go from 3000 Kelvin, I believe, all the way up to 10,000 Kelvin, but since you have those additional color LED chips, you can adjust the green and magenta shift. But it doesn't stop there because it's RGBWW. You have like something like 16.7 million colors to use for whatever creative purposes that you want. And then you also, on top of that, have a number of different gel presets. I think there's like 2,500 gel presets or something in there. So your creative freedom is pretty much unlimited, and you're basically unlimited with the amount of creative possibilities that you can have with this light. And the cool thing is all of those benefits carry over to the flash function of these lights, which I think is so cool. So I think we're all pretty familiar with RGBWW lights from other brands out there for filmmaking, but it's gotten kind of new for photography. So you get a lot of creative options, like adding color contrast and mixing different lights to get kind of creative shots for either portraits or product photography or whatever the case may be. And the last thing I want to touch on is just the user experience of these lights and really just like using these lights and changing settings and all that stuff. Now, first of all, there's a really handy app that you can download on your phone to connect to these lights, which is really convenient. But I have found that apps, although they are convenient, I feel like it's becoming kind of an inconvenience because there are so many apps for different products for photography and filmmaking, whether it's for different brands of lights or cameras or sliders or whatever the case may be. So much to the point where I'm kind of getting tired of having to switch between apps. I'd rather just walk over to the light and change the settings. And ROTOLIGHT has done a really good job of making that experience much more enjoyable than other brands of lights out there because of the touchscreen menu on there. The touchscreen menu is color touchscreen. It's very responsive and it's very easy to navigate. The menu system layout is very intuitive and, like I said, easy to use. And then you also have these physical dials to be able to control intensity and CCT and all that kind of good stuff. So I just really appreciate what ROTOLIGHT did and the attention to detail that they put in the menu system, because for me personally, now I just kind of prefer to use the menu system on the light instead of launching yet another application. Well, that is pretty much it, all I have to say about these lights. Overall, I really like these lights. I highly recommend them to you if you feel like that they fit your workflow. I'll leave links down in the description below for you to purchase if you so desire. And these lights have kind of piqued my interest too. Like, I really want to get my hands on the ROTOLIGHT Titan series of lights. So if I do get my hands on those, then I will certainly make content around those. With that, I'm gonna wrap up this video. My son sounds like he is losing his mind upstairs. So I'm gonna wrap this video up. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.